Welcome back to TRIVI-yeah! I am your host, Dean Felix. This is the podcast where you can learn something new, feel good about the things you already know, and poke the bear. TRIVI-yeah is BYOB, bring your own bear. But if you bring that bear, you can poke it all you want. Live your dream. Be best. I know I will. First things first, the answer to last week's bonus question is Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood. I got 10 questions for you, punk, and a bonus question. Another flawless impersonation by me. If you would like to know what that bonus question was, where Clint Eastwood was the answer, then all you gotta do is listen to last week's episode. Feel free to skip ahead to the bonus question at the end of the episode. I'm pretty sure that still counts as a playthrough. Like good old Clint said, 10 multiple choice questions are coming your way as we travel down the rabbit hole of trivia knowledge. Here on TRIVI-yeah! Each question leads into the question that follows. It's what makes us special and unique and deserving of love. I will accept all love payment in the form of likes, subscriptions, follows, positive comments, 5 stars, shares on socials. Hey, we're on all the socials, by the way, as TRIVI-yeah, maybe TRIVI-yeah podcast. Oh, okay, I'm not on all the socials. But maybe by the time you listen to this, I will have Facebook up and ready to go. Maybe I will finally get off my butt. No, I'm actually going to have to do that on my butt. I sit down to do that stuff and do that. Get on that Facebook. Start up that Facebook page. The fans are clamoring. They want Facebook. All right, real talk. Let me turn my chair around here backwards for you. All right, real talk. I really am so glad that you're here and that you pressed play. Thank you so much. I do hope you enjoy what I've created for you this week. I worked moderately hard putting it together. You want to hear it? You want to hear what I made for you? Oh boy, here it comes. Here it comes. It's time to play a little TRIVI-yeah! Right after this. Welcome back to TRIVI-yeah! I'm Dean Felix. Perhaps you've heard that the kids are saying 6-7 now. I'm not going to go into what 6-7 means because I have no idea. I've watched a video on it, and I still do not know. But I'm not alone because even the kids who are saying it don't understand what it means. Its meaning is not important anyway. Adults, particularly teachers, are finding this new slang annoying and confounding, and that's all that really matters. 6-7 accomplishes 2 things at once for kids that use it. It creates separation from the olds, us, while solidifying their own community. Like I said, it doesn't matter that its meaning has been warped beyond recognition. All that matters is that it belongs to them. 6-7 is also over. It's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. How do I know that it's over? Because my mom knows about it. She heard about it on the morning news. Every generation has its own slang. Some of it sticks, like cool. Some does not, like skibbity toilet. I remember when my friend came back from summer vacation saying no doubt all the time. That phrase did not exist the previous year, but almost instantly I was also saying it all the time. And a few years later I was watching Gwen Stefani bopping across the stage with her band, No Doubt. Being quick to adopt new slang makes you cool, no doubt. But using slang that's old hat is cringe, no matter how on fleek your eyebrows might be. You gotta yeet those old slang terms before your vocabulary turns into a nightmare blunt rotation. But the older you get, the harder it becomes to evolve with the times. Whenever I see an adult with the same hairstyle they had when they were a teenager, I get this feeling of anxiety. And when I see an adult that's wearing the same fashion as current teenagers, I feel just as bad. But those feelings don't have anything to do with who I'm looking at. They come from my own discomfort within myself. I'm still worried about being cool. There is nothing more uncool than that. I want to feel like I belong to a community. But I also want to stand out. To feel special. I don't just want to be an early adopter of new trends. I want to start them. I want to make fetch happen. I am tragically unhip. I acknowledge it. Oh my God, he admitted it. Oh well. Whatever. 6-7. Time for me to bip right on the trivia highway. Did I say that right? Certainly I did not. No doubt. But it doesn't matter. 6-7 is already over. Now it's time for what's next. It's time for question one. Time for question one. It's time for question one. Time. In April of 1967, the Vietnam War had already officially been going on for over a decade, and the draft lottery was still over 2 years away. Instead, men were conscripted to fight in the war, a process which was heavily biased against the poor and less educated. On April 28, 1967, a famous athlete refused to join military service and fight in Vietnam, saying that he, quote, ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. Who was this conscientious objector? A. Willie Mays. B. Oscar Robertson. C. Muhammad Ali. D. Jim Brown. The answer is C. Muhammad Ali. Ali was stripped of his boxing title and barred from boxing for 3 years for refusing to go to Vietnam. He was convicted of violating the Selective Service Laws, but that conviction was overturned in 1971 by the Supreme Court. Regardless, Ali was arguably the most hated man in the country for a time due to him holding firm to his convictions. If only he had instead gotten a doctor to lie, saying that he had bone spurs. Who knows? Maybe he could have been president. No need for excitement or hullabaloo. It's just question two. According to AmericanBoxerClub.org, Friederike Stockmann was a major force in boxer breeding in the early 1900s. I'm talking about dogs here, if you're confused. Frau Stockmann was the owner of 5-time German champion boxer Rolf V. Vogelsberg. That's his name, Rolf V. Vogelsberg. He won his final championship at age 11 after spending 4 years on the front lines in World War I with Friederike's husband Philip, who took 10 boxers with him to the war. Only Rolf V. Vogelsberg returned alive. So, I guess he was good at war. Frau Stockmann wrote the book, My Life with Boxers, in which she says that she was destined to spend her life with dogs after being born in 1891 underneath the Dog Star. In the constellation Canis Major, what star is nicknamed the Dog Star? A. Alpha Centauri. B. Sirius. C. Vega. D. Procyon. The answer is B. Sirius. In Greek mythology, Canis Major represents the immortal hunting dog Laelaps, who never failed to catch his prey, until Cephalus, son of Hermes, used him to hunt the Tumessian fox, a fox that could never be caught. The chase went on and on and on until Zeus had finally had enough of this paradox and turned them both to stone and cast them into the stars, creating the constellations Canis Major and Canis Minor. Man, ancient Greeks, they knew how to spin a quality yarn. Question 3! Wikipedia says Sirius XM currently has 7 functional satellites in orbit. Seems like a lot, but it's only a drop in the space bucket as there are over 11,700 active satellites currently orbiting Earth. When you add in all of the defunct satellites and human-made debris floating around up there, that number climbs to 45,000. You might be wondering if these objects ever run into each other. Well, they do, and they will. There's one hypothetical scenario that says as the number of satellites grows and these collisions increase, they can cause a chain reaction of debris quickly multiplying and soon taking out every satellite in orbit, destroying our defenses, our economy, and making future space travel basically impossible. What is the name of this doomsday hypothesis? Is it A. Kessler syndrome, B. the Fermi paradox, C. the Drake equation, or D. neocatastrophism? The answer is A. Kessler syndrome. The Drake equation is a math formula used to estimate the number of extraterrestrial civilizations actively communicating in the Milky Way galaxy. Critics say that the factors in the equation are so highly conjectural that it cannot be used to draw any firm conclusions. So don't be counting on the Drake equation to be of any help if you're hoping to communicate with planets in Canis Minor. Why are we here? Where are we going? Who is behind all of this? What should I get for lunch? What is this question for? Satellite in my eyes, like a diamond in the sky, how I wonder. Satellite strung from the moon, and the world your balloon, peeping Tom for the mother station. These are the lyrics to the first verse of the song Satellite, released as a single in 1995. Like most songs, its meaning is open to interpretation. But I think it's about our tendency to marvel at wondrous new technologies while ignoring the fact that, as many of them appear, things that we've taken for granted disappear, like our privacy. And it doesn't even need to be high-tech innovations. Simply looking up and seeing the stars has been taken away by light bulbs. I know, I sound like a Luddite. I don't know, I just miss seeing stars at night. Anyway, here's your question. What band gave us the song Satellite? A. Blues Traveler. B. Blind Melon. C. The Lemonheads. Or D. Dave Matthews Band. The answer is D. Dave Matthews Band. Track 3 on their 1994 debut studio album Under the Table and Dreaming, Satellite contains a repeating guitar riff that many college students have attempted to master in their dorm rooms. Most of us failed miserably and settled on strumming Hootie and the Blowfish instead.
Hey, fellas, wait till you hear this. Oh, my gosh. You don't say. I can't believe it.
What y'all talking about over there?
Nothing. We were just
Talking about question 5.
Well, shoot.
August 8th, 2004 is a date that lives on in infamy. This is the day a horrifying, sickening event left many emotional scars that will never heal and created dozens of stains that will never wash away. I am, of course, referring to the Dave Matthews Band incident, also known as Poopgate. Occurring while on tour, the band themselves are blameless, as they were nowhere near the tour bus when its driver, Stefan Wohl, decided to dump approximately 800 pounds of human waste from the bus off a bridge into the river below. A reprehensible act on its own, made exponentially worse by the fact that an open-top passenger sightseeing boat loaded with 120 tourists was sailing under the bridge at that exact moment. Around 2/3 of the boat's passengers were soaked in liquid waste, getting in their hair, their eyes, their mouths, including an infant. So stop laughing. Stop. It's not funny. Look, a baby had to be thrown away, all right? It's not funny. All right. On what river did Poopgate go down? Their throats. Was it A, the Chicago River, B, the Hudson River in New York, C, the Charles River in Boston, or D, the Mississippi River in New Orleans? The answer is A, the Chicago River. Chicago's Little Lady, the ill-fated passenger boat, started its tour at 1 p.m. and was then completely cleaned by its crew in time for a 3 p.m. tour. If any incident calls for all the employees to just go home for the rest of the day, it's this one. Don't even clean that boat. Just sink it. And who was on that next tour? I bet like the guy leading the tour was like, are there any other questions not concerning the smell?
Oh, bro. Bro, this is 6, bro. Bro, did you make this? Oh, bro. Bro, this is so 6. Is this your question? Bro, this question is 6.
The Chicago River has undergone a lot of changes since it was formed. Most notably, it now flows in the opposite direction. Long before Poopgate, it was known as the Stinking River, because its sluggish flow into Lake Michigan couldn't overcome all of the waste generated by the rapid growth of Chicago. So in 1900, the flow was reversed via locks and canals, sending water from Lake Michigan the other way through the Chicago River until it eventually joins the Mississippi. Every March, the Chicago River is famously dyed green in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. But in November of 2016, the river was dyed a different color. What color was it? A, red. B, purple. C, orange. Or D, blue. The answer is D, blue. It was dyed blue to celebrate the Chicago Cubs finally winning their first World Series since 1908. They use vegetable dye that has been verified as environmentally safe to change the color of the river. However, the environmental organization Friends of the Chicago River is still staunchly against the practice. They say that it gives the impression that the river is artificial. And I understand where they're coming from. I don't like fake friends either. Hi, I've got some great news. You just died and gone to question 7. Blue is the B part of Roy G. Biv, which is a mnemonic for all of the colors of the rainbow, or more accurately, the visible light spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But not every color we can see is in this spectrum. Saturated colors like pink and magenta are missing because they can only be made by mixing multiple wavelengths. And the visible light spectrum is just a range of single wavelength colors. And the 7 distinct colors that are called out in this spectrum, well, that's subjective to begin with. The man who chose these colors picked the number 7 because there are 7 notes in the heptatonic scale in music. You know, the do-re-mi one. And he believed that there was a connection between colors and music, either scientifically or mystically. Ooh. So who was it that gave us Roy G. Biv, establishing those 7 colors we know and love from the visible light spectrum? Was it A, Leonardo da Vinci, B, Galileo Galilei, C, Johannes Kepler, or D, Isaac Newton? The answer is D, Isaac Newton. Newton did a lot more than just notice that apples fell from trees. He also enjoyed hanging with the bros in his dorm room, staring at psychedelic posters while listening to Fish. There we go, that's 20 points, plus used all my tiles, so that's another 50 for 70 points.
It's not a word.
Yes, it is.
It's not a word.
It is a word.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'm looking it up.
All right.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
You'll see.
Oh my gosh, well, here it is. Look. To ask a lot of questions is to questionate.
I told you! Eye of newt, and toe of frog, wool of bat, and tongue of dog. These are the ingredients for a particularly foul witch's brew from Shakespeare's Macbeth, though the ingredients aren't as harmful to animals as they sound. Each one is a nickname for a particular herb. Toe of frog is a buttercup bulb, wool of bat is a holly leaf, and tongue of dog is an herb called houndstooth. So good old Willie Shakes didn't have to stretch too far on that one. So that leaves eye of newt, which is a nickname for which of the following herbs? A, mustard seed, B, lavender, C, cinnamon, D, mandrake. The answer is A, mustard seed. Mustard seeds are round and yellowish, similar to a newt's eye, and who among us hasn't ever gazed longingly into the yellow eyes of a newt? You, me, Callista Gingrich, we all have. The hardest part about being a trivia podcast host isn't coming up with the interesting questions. It's staying hydrated. So when I get thirsty, I always reach for a cool, refreshing glass of Question 9. Colonel Mustard is a character from the board game Clue, or Cluedo if you're in the UK, but according to my analytics, I doubt it. Colonel Mustard is a dignified, dapper, and dangerous military man. The kind of man whom you should always check for wrenches or candlesticks before agreeing to a game of billiards. In the 1985 black comedy film based on the board game, Colonel Mustard was guilty of war profiteering during World War II, and he maybe killed a passing motorist who recognized him, depending on what ending of the movie you got. When Clue hit theaters, moviegoers would see one of 3 possible different endings, where the murderer or murderers are revealed. That's pretty cool, huh? I think that's cool, no doubt. Skibbity toilet. What actor played Colonel Mustard in the movie Clue? A, Martin Mull, B, Tim Curry, C, Michael McKean, D, Christopher Lloyd. The answer is A, Martin Mull. The movie didn't do so good in theaters, barely making back its production budget of $15 million. I love this movie, though, and the thought that people didn't like it makes me so mad that it flames on the side of my face, breathing, breaths, heaving breaths.
You must retrieve the relic, for without it we are all doomed. It can be found in the Forbidden Temple in the ancient city of Shun-Ten.
So, that would make this, quest Shun-Ten then, huh?
You know what? Forget the relic. Just leave.
To mull over something is to think carefully and deeply about it for a time before making a decision. It's an idiom that makes a lot of sense when you consider mull's original meaning, which is to grind something to a pulp. So now, when you're mulling over a decision, you're essentially pulverizing those thoughts beyond recognition. It's a lot more poetic than saying that you're overthinking something. The phrase to overthink is, in my opinion, underthought. The most famous muller-over-er is possibly the thinker. Not a person, but a bronze sculpture of a nude, muscular figure seated on a rock, leaning forward with his hand on his chin, seemingly deep in thought. There are at least 27 full-sized bronze castings of the thinker displayed throughout the world. I saw one in the Museo Somaya in Mexico City. But where is the original located? Apologies in advance for some of these pronunciations. Is it A, Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam? B, Musée Rodin in Paris? C, the Louvre, also in Paris? Or D, Galleria dell'Accademia di Firenze in Florence? The answer is B, Musée Rodin, named after the artist who sculpted the thinker, Auguste Rodin. The main reason why the thinker resonates with me is how he'll always continue to ruminate. He's stuck pulverizing those thoughts forever and will never be able to move on, to try a new hairstyle or new clothes, or any clothes. He'll never finish mulling those seeds to create a deliciously spicy mustard that sends flames to the side of his face, causing him to see hidden colors and music. He'll never look up and appreciate the stars in the sky. There's a whole universe to explore, but if we spend all our time thinking instead of doing, in the meantime, technology will advance to the point where we'll be stuck here, where we are. And when we finally do look up, there won't be any stars left to see. Instead, all we'll see is a tour bus unloading its septic tank. Right into our mouths. Bonus, 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 bonus question time. Okay, let's get that taste out of our mouths with a little bonus question. Dogstar isn't just a star, it's also a band. I'm serious. And Dogstar the band has a bassist who is a very famous actor. Another famous actor bonus question, Dean. Is that what we're really doing? You better believe that is what we are doing. Who is the bass player for Dogstar? No multiple choices, no countdown timer. If you don't already know the answer, then you can go down your own rabbit hole of trivia knowledge, or you can join me right here for next week's episode where I will have that answer for you at the beginning of the show. Thank you for listening to another episode of TRIVI-yeah! If you would like to email the podcast, you can. TRIVIYeahpodcast@gmail.com. TRIVIYEAHPODCAST@gmail.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, 5 stars, leave a nice positive comment. Do all that stuff. Share it, tell a friend about the show. All of that really helps. I do really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. TRIVI-yeah podcast is written and produced by me. I'm Dean Felix. I also make all of the music that you hear, the little interludes, whatever you want to call them, the sound bites. I'm going to get new ones for you, too. I'm going to rotate some in. I'm getting on it. Gosh, I need to get on that. I'm going to make some new fun stuff for you. A lot of great stuff planned for the future. Again, thank you so much for listening. I really hope to see you next week, where I will have 10 new multiple choice questions for you, right here on TRIVI-yeah, which is, of course, a Quality Yarn production.